How's it going? My name's Josh, and we're out here today at policyholder Jeff Myers' home. That's policyholder Jeff Myers with Allstate, and Mr. Myers' address is 101 Meadowbrook Lane in Grantville, Georgia, and his zip code is 30220. Today's date is April 7th, 2026. The time's roughly 12:08 p.m. The temperature here in Grantville is 69 degrees Fahrenheit, and Mr. Myers' claim number is 000823 012281. And again, that's 000823 012281. And I'm gonna get Addison to show an overview of the property so that if need be, Allstate can confirm that we're at Mr. Myers' residence. This is a wind claim, and Mr. Myers has scattered wind damage on every major facet of the house, so on the front as well as the back. To my understanding, Allstate has paid for a partial full replacement, I believe to replace the front, but then to do a repair on the back. I know that our rep with Roof Tech, who's working this claim, came out and did a brittleness test as well. I see the results here from that the other day. Based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like it failed. And then I believe that the Allstate adjuster had asked for an actual repair attempt on video. So we're out here today to do that repair attempt. Just kind of randomly picked a Windcrete shingle here. You can see it's kind of off over here by itself, kind of like the idea of that. And then so there's no damage around it. You can see the shingles above it are sealed. They're in normal condition with the consistency of the rest of the roof, so just some normal mild wear and tear. And you can see they're sealed. So, and then you can see this one's creased and broke loose there. I'll show that there. All right, so this will be the one we're replacing. The shingles above it that have to be manipulated, as I said, are sealed and in good condition with no prior damage. And I'm going to get started, and I will be using the Roof Snake per Allstate's requests. And so I want to ask that you please pay close attention to how I use the tool. I'm going to use it how Roof Snake says to use it. I'm never going to bend the shingles of more than 45 degrees. My goal is to only lift them the length of the nail. In the event that I have a nail that I cannot dig out, because sometimes those nails are sunk in so deep that you can't dig them out with this blunt end, then I always revert to the cat's claw just to get it dug out and started. But the cat's claw lets you go under the shingle without lifting it way back as well. So again, I'll be using the Roof Snake and using proper technique. All right, so I'm gonna get started. Now I can tell from the keyhole that this is the middle tab. So here's the shingle. So this tab, this one, and this one is the one shingle that we're replacing. I'm gonna go ahead and break these other tabs loose right here. And I wanna ask that you please pay close attention to how gentle I am using the Roof Snake. I'm not one of those, I don't shove that Roof Snake way high past that tar line. I barely go up past the tar line. And I also kind of keep my hand on it so that so when I get to the end and break it loose, I don't want to pop that shingle up and overlift it by mistake. So that's what I'm doing here. Just barely breaking that loose. Nice and easy. That one's loose. Go with this one. Okay. All right, and now so I have to start from here. Nice and easy. The next one. On to the next row. Okay. Last tab, y'all. So now I'm going to use the roof snake to start pulling the nails out. Okay, and I'm not one of those, I'm not going to bend that tab way back to look for the nail. I'm going to barely lift it and get down under here like this. Let a little light get in there and look for that nail. Found it, okay. And as you can see here, I'm going to let the tool do its job. I'm going to let the roof snake determine how much that tab gets lifted. All right. Nice and easy, there we go. Got the nail started. Now I come over the top and get it the rest of the way out. Very carefully. There we go. All right, on to the next nail. Looking for it now, y'all. Again, I'm just barely lifting it, just trying to find the nail. A little hard to spot right now. I've got it located right there. Yep. All right. Again, I'm letting the roof snake do its job, not overlifting that tab, just lifting it whatever the tool requires for the minimum. Yep. There. Next one here. Rolling now. Next nail. Alright, again, letting that tool do its job. It's not me lifting, letting the roof snake do the lifting. Nice and easy. Yeah. Okay. On to the second row. Very easy, not letting this tab lifted too high. Next one. Finding that nail. There you go. Got it now. Guys, I'm just lifting these tabs the length of the nail. Just enough to get the nail out. There we go, last couple of nails right here. Last nail on this side. Nice and easy, guys. Okay. All right, so I've got the nails out. That should release my bad shingle. There we go. All right. There's the bad one. I do want to highlight some of this matting transfer happening here through there. That's bad because now these chunks of matting are on these tabs underneath there, and it's going to make it where when we put the new shingle in, these tabs will not reseal properly to the new shingle, since now the matting from this one is transferred, blocking that seal line from sealing properly. All right. Does contribute a little bit to non-repairability, but not the end of the world, so we'll keep going. All right, sliding this new shingle in. I think this red here is a terracotta red. If I'm not mistaken, it's a discontinued color. I know Georgia's not a color match state, but that's why we're using the brown shingle for this repair. Still not ideal for the eye, but All right, so, and I'll use the roof snake to put the nails back in. You'll notice that I'll drive it all the way down as far as the roof snake will let the nail go. I'll slide the snake out, put it on top of the nail head, and then tap it a couple more times. The reason you see me do that is because the 3/16 of an inch lip on the roof snake leaves the nail sticking up like a nail pop would, about 3/16 to 1/4 inch. And then that tab, when it lays on top of that nail, is not able to lay flat and flush with the surface and reseal. So that's why I gotta, drop, make sure the nail gets driven all the way flat and flush. So here we go. I'm just gonna barely lift that, guys. This is the way I do it. I barely lift it, just enough to slide the snake under there, put the nail on the nail line, and then let the tool do the job. Next nail, nice and easy. Surprised at the granule loss on this roof, how easily it's degranulating when we're walking on it and the banging. Barely lifting that. All right, now I'm going for the second row of nails. That's flat and flush. Last two. Putting two nails here because this is where two shingles meet. So this is one shingle and then this is the start of another. Now, Addison's not going to take the camera off the repair zone. He's going to walk straight over. That way, you guys have seen the whole repair attempt from start to finish. Just out of habit, I'm going to put you on the new shingle. I know it's obvious. Let me take a look at these. So, I'm going to point out this first tab. Honestly, it's probably one of the worst ones. You can see this crease plain as day, going all the way across at the top here. Heavy granule loss. That one has definitely been damaged due to the repair. This one here, you can kind of see it faintly on the edges, but it looks like the middle didn't really get creased too hard, but you can still see it faintly on the edges. I'm just going to kind of put a little slash on that one. This one here though, the crease is just insanely heavy across the top. Very obvious on that one. Okay, then on to the next tab. Now this is one shingle damaged so far. This is the start of another shingle right here. And you can see this one's got a very hard, rough crease across the top there. This roof is, there's no shade on it any time of the day in the summer. In the hot months, in my opinion, is that even though it may not be super, super old, you can tell it was installed, very well. It's just become too brittle to repair from all the sun exposure. But all right, then this next row here, the next shingle, you can see that crease all the way across the top there. That one's damaged. Same for the next one. cut dry. And the next one as well. Right above my finger. Okay, so now in order to replace one, we've damaged 3, and that's using the roof snake, which is very time consuming, very expensive labor wise for roofing to have somebody use the roof snake for every shingle like this. But now 3 shingles have been damaged, so if we continue, I'll have to replace these 3, which will then damage the 5 or 6 above it, and then the 7 or 8 above it, and so on and so forth. And we ended up going in a V format all the way up to the ridge of the roof, starting with all these Windcrete shingles. So this roof isn't repairable, and with this much scattered damage on the back, we'd end up replacing the whole thing anyways if we were to try to repair it at this rate here. So we're just hoping that Allstate will go full replacement on all slopes of the roof so we can bring them back to pre-loss condition, because we can't with it being non-repairable. Thank you.